Good evening, guys. I hope you all had a very wonderful week. The week was very, the beginning of the week was very difficult to trade because of the rangy, behavior of the markets. During Monday and Tuesday, it was very rangy, but we still got our trades. Going into next week, we'll be doing the same thing, right? The markets will be always difficult. You just have to find a way to trade, right? And for us, for the members, it worked pretty well for us. We closed the week with more than, I think, 20R, so it was very good for us. So going to this week, we are going to be using the same, weekly targets that, I identified last week. So on DXY, as always, we will start from here. So after market made this change of character, we are expecting once again for a pull back to at least the 50%, and then a further continuation to the downside for us, right? If you go on the 4-hour, you can see the market has already come into the 50% of this whole range. So any any sell setup that the market can give us will be good to continue to the downside, right? But going into this week, I would like either this setup to the downside or something above this one and then to the downside, right? So these are the setups that I'll be looking at going to this week for DXY, right? I'm expecting further continuation to the downside to come and fill up this imbalance right here. So any move to the upside will give me the signal to go low on DXY, right? So keep an eye on it. The unexpected thing that we can see happening is we going up above this high right here, and then we get the pullback and then continuation. But I'm not expecting it. But if it happens, then the market is just doing its thing, and we have to respect it, right? So keep an eye on DXY. This week, my weekly target is this high right here, the 104,600, right, and the 102,750. Or the 103.75. These are my weekly targets for DXY, right? These three targets. I'm bearish on DXY, as I said, because on the high time frame, we made this change of character, right? So I'm bearish on DXY. On EURUSD, going to this week, the weekly target for me would be, the same as on DXY, right? We're having this 4-hour imbalanced order block system right here, and if markets was to go up and pull to the downside, it will be very good for me, right? And then I'll look for further buys into these highs, right? But if the market continues to go lower, then the market will just be doing its thing, right? But overall, for me, I'm bullish on DXY because of this change of character the market did, right? So these two will be my weekly targets, and the first weekly target to be hit will trigger the reversal in the market for us. So if the market, what I'm expecting is for the market to come down, and then we get that kind of change of character to the upside. But if the market was to go to the upside first, right, then I'll be expecting some kind of change of character around these levels, and then further continuation to the downside. Something like this what I'll be expecting, right? But yeah, we see what the market gives us. But just like I said, my bias for the markets going to this week will be to these levels, right? To this level, these two levels. So the first level to get triggered will initiate the reversal in the market for us, right? So keep an eye on it. I think we're also having news on Thursday and on Wednesday. I mean, since Tuesday we were having major news, so it will be very difficult week to trade. But yeah, we will see what the market does. And the trades that we caught last week, they were very good trades. We caught a sell right above these highs. This was our sell trade that we took. Yeah, this was it. And our main target was to these lows, but we closed full position around 107.5 around these levels, and then we also caught another sell from these highs around here with our stop loss right above this high, right? The same thing, the target was also the same, but we closed full position around this area, right? And going to next week, it will just be the same. We will just continue with the lower time frame, bias, market structure, and we continue to look for bearish movement into the downside again, right? But if the market fails and push to the upside, then we all know what will be happening, right? So keep an eye on this, because what happens on EURUSD will also be happening on all of the other major pairs, right? Yeah. So going to next week, these levels, these key areas will be my areas to be looking for, the reversal in the market, or these highs right here, because on the 4H, I think you're having this kind of other block, these highs right here, that I would like market to come and trade into, right? And if market was to trade inside of it, then we may see some kind of selling pressure coming from those levels, right? Okay. So going into next week for pound USD, it's also the same. We also caught the same sells on EURUSD. It was also around these levels. Where is it? We opened the week with, yeah, right here. We took a sell from these levels. Our stop loss was above this high, and we targeted these levels, these lower levels. And as you see, it's a 1 to 10 trade, and we closed perfectly right there, right? We closed our full position right here at 127.5, the same as on EURUSD, right? And we also caught another sell from these highs, right? With our stop loss placed around here, but the market took us out before coming to the downside, right? But still, we made profit with this trade, right? And going to next week, it will also be the same thing, right? It will also be the same thing. We look for continuation to the downside, and then we get the reversal, and then we go to the upside. Something like this is what we will be looking at going into next week, right? But if the market fails and breaks this high, then you look for the continuation to the upside, because as you see, this is also kind of like a liquidity trend line right here being built, right? And if the market was to break it, then any how do I call it, any other block or any point of place of interest that we find here, we'll be looking for the continuation to the upside, right? So keep that one also in mind. But the best place for us to be looking for buys on pound USD will be from these lower points, and to target this imbalanced other block that hasn't been fully mitigated yet, right? We want to trade towards this high. So that's what I'll be looking for going to next week for the pound USD. NZDUSD, as I said last week, our target was to these lows, and market perfectly tapped inside of it, right? So going into next week, it will also be the same thing. Our weekly target will be this high right here, and our lower target will be right here, right here. This will be my weekly target, and this one too, right here. So if the market was to come lower and take out these lows, then we'll be looking for something like this to the upside, right, to go and target these weekly targets. But overall, I'm bullish on NZDUSD, and if the market was to come lower and take out these lows, then still we'll be looking for that buys into these highs and then continuation to the downside. That is what we'll be looking for, right? But as I said, what happens on EURUSD will be also happening on NZDUSD, right, and also on pound USD. You get it? So choose one pair and trade with it. Don't try to trade all of those pairs, because if you try and trade all of these 4 pairs or 5 pairs, it's like risking 5% on one trade idea, right? But if you take one pair alone and you trade it, then you are risking 1%. You get it? Okay. So AUDUSD, starting with the week, we were in a sell, and our swing sells was also from these highs. It was a perfect entry from these highs. Stop loss right above this high, right? Because this other block was still right there for us to take. Market grab inside of it, and it came to the downside. But we closed our full position around these levels, around these low. We closed it at 5 to 5, at 1 to 5.5 R, and these sells that we were also in, we also closed 10 R from it, right? So going to next week is also kind of similar to NZDUSD. We'll be looking for the continuation to the upside, right? Because markets was forming like these lower low, lower high, get it? Lower low, lower high, and the markets came it grabbed those liquidity that was sitting above here, right? And we'll be looking for the same thing to happen, right? Further continuation to the downside. So I'm not saying that the market can't come lower to these points. It can of course come to these lower points, and if it comes there, we'll be looking for that lower time frame market structure shift to the upside, right? And then we continue with the bullish, bullish trend to the upside, something like this, and then get the buys in to target this weekly high, right? Because these two, let me bring this one a little bit lower. Yes, these two will be our weekly targets, right? So because if you look at right here, these levels are so clean, like, and I don't like it. So we can it can be like a form of liquidity for the market. So if the market was to pull down lower one more time, then you wait for further continuation to the downside, and then if we get that change of character, then we push to the upside, right? But overall, my weekly target is this low and this high right here. This would be my weekly kind of range that I would like to see the market trade within, right? Okay, so on gold, this move I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting gold to react the same way how EURUSD and pound USD was reacting like last week, right? Because last week we just sat around this we just sat in this range, we didn't go above it, right? And on gold we went like really above it, we call this high, and right now we are sitting at this other block right here, right? At this other block right here, and I didn't expect it, right? So, and that's one of the reasons why I don't mainly trade gold, because something can happen and you wouldn't have any explanation for it. So that's why I really tend to ignore gold and trade EURUSD and pound USD, because this move is a 4-hour candle, and the last time that this kind of 4-hour candle bullish movement happened was right here, right? And also right here. But other than that, and also these sell candles, but other than that, right, it doesn't really happen much. And if it happens, then it happens with some fundamental reason, and I don't trade fundamentals, so I don't really know the move, like the motive behind this move, right? But going into next week, any buy opportunity around this level, I'll look for a move back to these highs, right? To these highs right here, because right, if you go on the daily, I think, let's see, yeah, on the daily we're having this kind of perfect supply support and resistance line around here. So I would like the market to come and trade below it, come and tap it, and then give us that kind of reaction from it that is going to sustain. And if we see that kind of if you see the market kind of resisting to go to the lower levels, then any buy opportunity for me right here will trigger us to go for the buy to target the 2,115 level, right? So this is what I'll be looking for gold. But as for me, just like I said, I don't trade gold essentially, but if we kind of get that kind of reaction from it, to be good for us, right? Maybe on Thursday or on Wednesday, something like that will be happening, right? But yeah, so this is what I'll be looking at for the major pairs. And for the minor pairs, the only pair that the bonus pair that I would like to talk about is Euro NZD. And on Euro NZD, any kind of bearish move that we get towards this level will trigger me to go in for the for the buys to target these highs right there. This will be our first target, and eventually this will be our second target, because of this liquidity right here, right? It's a perfect it's a perfect double top that I would like the market to go and sweep, right? It already swept it, but it's still looking like too clean for me. So any move towards these highs is good for me, right? So this would be our external liquidity that we'll be looking for the markets to go and take out, right? So the best place to be looking for buys on the daily will be from this level, but this one will be like a decisional POI for you, POI daily, and this one will also be another decisional extreme POI where you can, dive deeper inside of it and look for the perfect, the perfect entry to give you that kind of bigger risk to reward ratio, right? Because on the 1 hour and I think on the 4H, there's some decent, place to be looking for the buys from. So any kind of push into these levels, it will give me, I would like the market to react from those two and give it that kind of buy confirmation to the upside to target these heights right here, right? So that will be all for the week. This will be like my monthly or my weekly setup, right? Something like this. For swing trading aspects, you can measure it, wait for the 70% to come and hit, right? Wait for the 70% to come and hit, and then you put your stop loss just below here and you target these highs, right? This like a swing trading perspective, right? And if you want to go for that one, it's a 1 to 5.5 hour, right? But it will take like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to play out. So that's why I'm saying this one is kind of a swing trading perspective. But on the day trading aspect, you can dive lower on the lower time frames and try to anticipate for the buys. So that will be all for the week. And like always, if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section, or you can just join our public Discord and try to access me there, or on Instagram. I'm also active there. So I think that will be all. If there's anything, just let me know. So once again, keep an eye on DXY and EURUSD, but mainly on EURUSD on Wednesday and Thursday. Those will be the days that the market can, the market will be deciding where it's going to go. Because right now you are sitting in kind of this, pullback phase, right? So we could, break out of this and then get a move to the upside, right? So keep an eye on EURUSD for for the coming weeks, because there will be a lot of news as you see. Keep an eye on it, because anything that happens on EURUSD will be happening on all of these other pairs. So that will be all, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and join me on this journey. Thank you all for watching, and once again, see you next week.